Yeah, so I'd say at the time, obviously we were struggling as a team. Mike's done some incredible things for this organization, and we all saw what he did the past 2+ years for us. So, I have nothing bad to say about Mike. I don't want to come up here and do that. I respect everything he's done. At the same time, we're trying to turn our season around. We're a month out from the trade deadline, and we've got to figure out now with an interim coach how we're going to go turn this thing around. That was the primary focus. I knew I'd come up here and speak to you guys at some point, but that was, it was all hands on deck for that. And so far, we've gotten ourselves back into the mix. So, I think we obviously have some more work to do there. On De'Aaron, I think incredible player. At the same time, we've offered multiple extensions. That's been public. And, in addition to public and private conversations that happened before that decision on the coaching change. So, I think, I'll speak more on that. But, for us, it became clear that there was no pathway there for a long-term agreement. And so that's also why we're here today. No, De'Aaron had nothing to do with the decision on the coaching change. No player did, that was the decision that I made, that the organization, as we discussed, obviously came to, but no players, no. Yeah, obviously we had, I think, high expectations coming into the season. For a variety of reasons. We did start off with some success, but heading into December started hitting a skid. And then I think ultimately, as we're trying to figure out ways to turn the season around, a lot of different things were discussed. But ultimately the 5-game losing streak at home and the Detroit loss, the next day, as we talked through it, that was we felt we had a season that could be better. And, that was the choice we made at that time. That was the thing that, that we could push to. And, so far I think we've had some success there, but, those were the main factors that were going in at the time. And, the higher expectations things are, the more we expect of ourselves. Yeah. I mean, really, I think anytime, a player of that caliber, you get closer to the end of the contract. We've offered extensions, as we talked about. Anytime there's a transaction window, we revisit, how do we handle this? And I think at this point, with, a year and a half left, we decided, with the public and private indications we were getting, that this was the time to at least explore the market. At the same time, when I think we got, a return we're excited about, and so that's why we pulled the trigger. Yeah, certainly, something we're looking to do. Well, we obviously, with the trade deadlines coming up, that's one option, and we'll continue to look at it going forward. Yeah, I mean, certainly, coming off the last 2 seasons and the decision to extend Mike, we did not envision that this is how the season would go. But all we can do is, continue to deal with the information we're getting and make the best decision in each moment. Obviously, in hindsight, we maybe would have done some things differently, but we don't have the benefit of hindsight at the time. Yeah, I think with obviously we have a lot of qualified coaches on our staff, but Doug in particular, his not just being a former player, but a former Sacramento King, and his connection to us as an organization, and I think a lot of what we've seen from Doug so far is what we hope for, and just his ability to to lead these guys and give a different perspective. So he had that unique combination. I think that was ultimately the deciding factor. Yeah, I don't want to get into maybe those private conversations. I will say that conversations have been had, throughout and even and even more so before, dating back to the summer and the early part of the season. Obviously, the deadline is just the time that these things end up happening. And so, as I said with Sam's question, it's just each transaction window we kind of have to decide, like, what are we trying to do? And for the first time, we did decide to explore the market there. Yeah, I think obviously, the season hasn't gone as we all hoped. That's part of it. At the same time, I think, we did explore ways to have De'Aaron stay here, and it was made clear that wasn't going to happen. So we moved on. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it was just the results, of the season, and the specifically the way that we played in that homestand. We felt we needed to do something. That was one of the options that we had been discussing in the days leading up, and like I said, the way ultimately that the last couple games of that homestand went solidified that. Yeah, mine. Yeah, I would say, certainly anytime a player of that caliber, is in the market, and also the way that it was very public. Yeah, it made for a unique market, but I also think, our group did a great job of cultivating a market to ultimately get what we wanted in return. We were not going to settle for less than we wanted, and so when we got that, we made the deal. Yeah, I would say two things, James. One is, from where we started to where we are, I think we've had a lot of success. We're in our third straight winning season, after whatever it was, 15, 16 without. At the same time, yeah, we haven't won enough for our expectations as they've gone up following, our playoff year. And ultimately that all falls on me. And so, I'm tasked with getting us to the playoffs, and that's what I keep trying to do. Up to you guys, how good that's been. Yeah, certainly not linear. How we've gotten there never is. I think following the 23 season, we had hopes that the core could continue to ascend. Obviously, at this point we've gone in a different direction. At the same time, Zach is an incredible player. I think we have a lot of talent on this team. The West is tough, but we're competing with some of the best teams in that conference. On the flip side, this is one of the first times, in my career that I've had plus first round picks, and we got some very high value picks in return in addition to a really good player. And so that's just going to give us more opportunities down the road to continue to improve this team, get where we want to go. Thank you.